Hey guys, this is Ashton from Muse Themes. Today we have a new theme we're going to be taking a look at called Frost. This is a fully responsive theme from Muse. It uses all fluid breakpoints, and it's styled with a bright and fun color scheme, appropriate for a bakery or restaurant or just about anything that would fit this bright and jovial tone. Now, this is a single-page theme to start, meaning that the theme does not come pre-styled to be very content-heavy. As you can see, it's much more reliant on the color and the visuals here. As I click on the various navigation buttons, you'll see the page will actually move itself to the proper section, as opposed to changing pages. Now, of course, with all of our themes, you can add as many pages and as much content as you want, and there's plenty of room to expand upon this particular theme. I also think it's a great starting point for anybody that might be new to responsive Muse or fluid breakpoint specifically. It's set up very simply, and it's not overwhelming when you open it in Muse, but it has some really cool responsive features to it, including these full-width buttons, which you can see have an interactive rollover effect, and as I scale the browser down, you can see everything just kind of adjusts smoothly and fluidly. So this is a really powerful theme with some complex features, but it's executed with simple methods. So we're going to jump into Muse right now, and we'll take a closer look. So when you first open the project in Muse, all you're going to see is this single home page. Now, since this is just a single scrolling page template, there aren't any additional pages or master page content applied, but it can always be added if desired. So I'm going to go ahead and open the home page and we'll poke around a little bit. Starting on top here, we have a 5 breakpoint setup, and you can right-click on any of these breakpoints and select breakpoint properties, and you can see they're all labeled as fluid width. That's what's giving all the content, specifically the text and those interactive box buttons, their fluid motion. And you'll also notice up here with these arrows pointing outward, that means that the breakpoint width is unlocked, and this will allow the content to expand beyond the largest breakpoint. And for a couple specific features in this theme, it's vital to leave this as is. Taking a look at the navigation, you see on our 1200 breakpoint here, we have a simple menu placed in the upper right corner. Now, if we select it and take a look at the pinning settings, we see that it is pinned to the top right of the screen, and this is what is keeping it placed there as you scroll down the page as you saw in the browser. Along with this full-width white rectangle, selecting this, we can see that it's pinned to the top center, and the Frost logo over here pinned to the top left. So just make sure that whenever you swap out these graphics for your own, that you mind these settings if you're hoping to keep the same layout and functionality. I also want to point out that our menu widget here, if we go ahead and pop open the flyout panel, you'll see that the menu type is set to manual. Now this is what is enabling the menu to link to the page anchors instead of actual different pages. These other options here, we have top level pages and all pages. This would cause the menu to automatically pull the page layout from your site plan. So just keep in mind that if you do end up adding pages to this site, that you need to manually add them to your menu and assign them a hyperlink. And you can do that by selecting any single button and pushing one of these plus signs to add more buttons. And your hyperlinks are right up here on your toolbar. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Command-Z to undo that. And now just scrolling through our various breakpoints, you'll notice that once we get to the 768 breakpoint, our standard menu goes away, and we're now working with an Accordion Menu, which works great on mobile. Selecting this, you can see that it's set to full width, so anywhere the user clicks in this header will expand the menu downward. And same procedure here with the menu placed within. Just make sure to manually make the proper changes as you adjust your site's navigation. So I'm going to go ahead and close this accordion. We'll jump back to our 1200 breakpoint, and we're going to look down a bit and check out the background video feature that you saw in the demo. This is an awesome feature of our Show Video Suite widget. Here on the page, we have a full-width rectangle placed on the page, starting just below the menu header, and is currently filled with this light blue color. But if I select the rectangle and we take a glance at our Graphic Styles panel, you'll notice that it has a style applied to it called Section 1. And if you're familiar with our show widget, you know that you have the option to assign a bounding box like this to feature the video in as opposed to a full screen background. So to add a video, simply check out the show widget itself. It's already set up and placed over here to the left. This top component here is the video tool set, and if you're only going to use the background video feature that you saw in the demo, you don't have to change anything here. This just needs to sit on the page. Inside here, you see that it has background video tools already enabled, so you're good to go. But definitely be sure to check out the full tutorial for Show to explore some of the other really cool features of this widget. Now this lower component here, this is where you're going to add your video. So if we go ahead and open the settings panel, this is where you can pick whether you want to feature a locally hosted video or a YouTube option, which is pretty cool. And this last section here is the video settings section. And this is where you can designate the video to be full page or sectional. And it's already set up for you to utilize the section that's been implemented on the page, but you're of course welcome to customize this anyway. So I'm going to quickly add a locally hosted video by expanding the tab here and clicking the Add File button for my MP4, WebM, and poster image files. It is important to include all three of these files to ensure full functionality across all different kinds of browsers, and you can find more detailed information on this in the actual show video tutorial. So right now I'm going to go ahead and start with the MP4. I have a nice video of a cute little hummingbird. And then my WebM. And finally my poster image. So already I can preview this page in the browser. And I can see that my video is already playing, my header is functioning, and everything seems to be responding fluidly. So back to the project, we're going to go ahead and scroll down the page just a little bit more. And we can see our various sections here. They're all topped with an anchor, which is what the menu buttons are actually linking to. Now you're welcome to change the names of any of these by right-clicking them and selecting Rename Anchor. And you can add more anchors as you wish by clicking the anchor icon over here on your left toolbar, and you can just place it wherever you need. Now let's check out this row of buttons here. This is a really awesome utilization of responsive Muse. What we actually have here is a series of state buttons. If I select each one individually, you can see that each one is set to responsive width. And additionally, with this left one selected, if we take a look at our pinning menu, you can see that this one is oriented to the left side of the browser. And if we click the center button, you get center orientation, and the right one is set to the right. So if I go ahead and load another browser preview really quick, we can go ahead and scroll down to the buttons. And if I resize the browser, not only are they adjusting their width fluidly, but they're maintaining their position along the width of the browser in relation to the others perfectly. And that's due to that proper pinning orientation. So just make sure to follow that model if you're going to duplicate or rearrange these buttons. Now the other cool element here is this really slick scroll up motion that happens when I roll over the button. This is actually accomplished by using a fill image. So let's jump back to Muse. And I'm going to select, let's say this left button, and then we'll check out our fill menu up here on our top left. Now you can see that this state button is filled with an image called Sprite1. So I'm going to go ahead to our Finder, and we can jump into the Assets folder that you find inside the theme download. And I have an image here called Sprite1. So if I go ahead and blow up this image, you'll notice that it's actually one long image canvas with both our popsicle image here on top and the colored background. It's all in one picture file. So going back to our fill menu, we got this left button selected. You can see that the image is set to scale to fill, and its position is set to display the topmost part of the image. So if I go to the States button menu, and we'll go over to our rollover state, you can see the button changed, and back to our fill, we're now looking at that same image file, but it's now displaying the bottommost portion of the image. So you can see just by me changing these positioning pins that I get a totally different portion of the button image displayed. And I also get that text. You can change that text by leaving the rollover state active and just double clicking on the text box and typing anything you wish. And then the last effect applied here is the motion, and this is actually applied internally back here in the States button menu. Down below here you can expand this tab here for transitions, and you can set the type of motion and the speed that you want. So there's a lot of flexibility in here, a lot of ways to make this look different, making your own images, your own graphics, so it's really cool. Scrolling down the rest of the page, we have a variety of text boxes and photos, and some sections having background image fills like this team section. That can all be customized using this fill menu once again. And finally here on the bottom, we have a neat display of contact info and a simple form. So that pretty much covers our Frost theme. It's a playful theme, it's simplistic, yet very functional and interactive at the same time, and there really are countless uses and applications for it. So we do, of course, hope you enjoy it, have some fun, and if any issues arise, we're just a click away. Have a great day.